Welcome to Green Addicts Live.
Morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are y'all this morning?
Hey, amazing.
Man, great.
A little cold.
It is cold out there, ain't it? Ooh.
20? No, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, what was it yesterday when we left the house? 60?
60,
yeah.
60.
Yeah.
And it is currently 27 degrees outside.
27 degrees.
Ice on the ground.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm not a big cold weather guy.
I like it. I like it.
You like it?
You know what I like about it? It fuels the business.
Yeah.
It
If it gets
feels-
cold,
feels
man,
like what?
it fuels the business.
Fuels the business. Okay, okay.
Well, I mean, hey, if it gets cold, people need to stay warm in their houses,
Yeah,
man.
that's true.
I like hearing that.
I guess so. You know, I got up this morning, I walked in the bathroom, and I think the floor and the temperature in in the bathroom of my master bathroom was about 10 degrees cooler than the bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
And so what's the first thing you think of when you go in there? It's like, man, do I need more insulation in this house? I mean, it's like cold in here.
Yeah.
But we know that we've done a CPR on my home.
Yeah.
And my home is efficient.
I mean, literally, I was looking for. I thought, okay, is there something in this home that we could tighten up? No. If it was a pier and beam house and you had a cold floor, then I'd say, oh yeah, we got your solution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but no.
Everybody has one room, though. They need probably more insulation in. They always have that one.
You'd be surprised, man. There's always the problem. They're like, yeah, man, gosh, our home's really feels good, but you know that one room, that one above the garage or on the master. Yeah, there's always something.
Yep.
Room for improvement.
Always good to bring an expert out to the home though, to check it out. That's for sure. We have a few of those experts around the office.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Bradley Crenshaw. I am the CEO of Green Addicts, co-owner. I'm joined with Russ Lewis, our COO of Green Addicts, the other co-owner, or as he refers to himself, Big Daddy Russ.
Big Daddy. Big Daddy.
So then we've got a special guest with us again today. We've got Mr. Mike Williams with us. Mike is he is a great guy, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Mike before we get started. So I like to kind of bring everybody up to speed on how I got introduced to the people that I bring on the show, because we don't just lock arms with anybody. It takes special people for us to, put our name on and put our brand on, for us to say, hey, you know what? This is the guy. Last week we had an awesome guy on the show, Cole Newton, just a fabulous man. I really have enjoyed Cole. But today we got Mike, and I'm going to tell you kind of how Mike and I come about, our relationship, our friendship. So we were looking to add benefits to our office, to our business. We're always looking for ways to, help improve, our company and take care of our employees. And that was one thing that we always got questions on was, how, where we can get those benefits and are we going to get benefits? And that's just something a lot of companies, lack in, is the benefit side of things. And to me, that really takes care of your employees. It really says, hey, we care about you. We care about your family. So looking around for benefits, like I always do, I started looking for referrals. And on the referral side, I don't just open up a phone book. I immediately go to my people and I'm like, hey, who do you know? So I started talking to a few folks around the office, stuck the old normal Facebook quote out there, looking to put benefits in on the business. Who do you refer? My operations manager comes to me and he says, I want you to meet Mike. He said, that's all I'm going to tell you. He didn't try to sell me on Mike. He didn't try to tell me I need to use Mike. He just said, I want you to meet Mike.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. So I reached out to Mike. Mike, we exchanged a few text messages back and forth. We come to looking at calendars, and we're trying to pick a date. And Mike says, well, I can't do this date, but I can do this, particular date. And I forget what the dates were, but he's like, I can't come here because I'm going to the mountains somewhere. He says, I'm going to get closer to Jesus.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, this is my man. This is my man. So, and I still, it's not that I was saying, hey, you know what, just because he's telling me he's getting closer to Jesus, that I'm going with him. Right. I still wanted an opportunity to meet him.
Yeah.
And Mike comes into the office, and immediately, the guy walks in, I think the first day, and hugs me. And I'm getting better at the whole hugging thing, but I'm kind of like my 20-year-old daughter. It's like, this is my space, but but he comes in, gives me a hug. I'm like, you know what? Okay, well, let's sit down.
Yeah.
So we start talking, and I mean, immediately, he was just a guy that, that I knew had a high level of integrity, as well as immediately I could trust him. I mean, it was just the honesty just bled out of his skin, and it was almost like, guy was telling me, "This is your guy. I mean, this is the guy you need to use for the benefits." And I was talking to 3 or 4 other, companies, when it come to that, and some of the big box companies. But I made the choice, decided to go with Mike, and I mean, it has been just incredible. This guy, he's been there for every step of the way. He's just an incredible guy. And today's going to be about Mike. I want him to kind of tell you a little bit about him, where he comes from, his background, and kind of bring you up to speed, and then we'll get into kind of what he does. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Wow, how do I follow that up? That's great, man. I appreciate the love and the open arms and just welcoming. Your operations manager, the whole entire family has blessed me for many, many years. Vic Gonzalez and his brother, I've been running with him for many, many years.
Yeah.
And we've been in the ups and downs of life, in the trenches, and we went through this book together, Purpose Driven Life.
Oh, yeah.
And that solidified our brotherhood there years ago. So, yeah, it's just a blessing. I appreciate the opportunity to meet you guys and get involved. It's, to me, the size of your company, that's ideal. You guys are growing tremendously. In my past, I've actually been in the space a little bit of going green after washing my sins away of being oil and gas. So I appreciate where you guys are, where you're going, and just the energy that your whole office brings. It's pretty cool culture that you brought in.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be a part of it. So I don't know how much better I can follow that intro up though.
So what got you into the insurance business, and the name of your company is yourlocalbroker.com, right?
Yep. Brokers with an S.
Brokers with an S. Yourlocalbrokers.com. And tell us a little bit, how did you get into the business? How long you've been in the business? And what makes you different from all of the other lizard licking whatever box insurance companies out
Farmer
there?
Joe's,
Yeah. Farmer Joe's.
There's all kinds out there. And, I even had to think about how I got started or what, drove my passion for insurance going back to the age of really 14 is kind of where the story started with shadowing a senator from Oklahoma. I even forgot his name. I need to look that up. But it was a special deal inside of student council. And so we got to shadow a senator. Well, he was so charismatic and just a nice guy. We went everywhere throughout the state capitol there in Oklahoma. But he happened to when he wasn't doing that, he was doing insurance. So go ahead and put that away for a few years. And all of a sudden, I was a lifeguard in my early teens. And I was doing a little side job. I was always doing something. I wasn't ever sitting still. So whether it's mowing lawns or whatever, this happened to be in the wintertime. I needed to pick up a little job for 2 weeks. And I heard as I was folding clothes for this little clothing store, Urban Outlet deal, I heard the owner speaking with a gentleman who came in the doors. And he was talking about time value of money, rule of 72. And I was like, this kind of piqued my interest because all I heard before that was just algebra and it was pretty dry and I wasn't that excited about school at that point. Well, come fast forward on his way out, I grabbed his card. And I always call him my Mr. Miyagi. It's a Karate Kid moment.
Paint the fence.
His name was Rod Chin. Awesome guy. Retired military. A lot of history there. My dad was 22 years Air Force. So it's just being raised around Tinker Air Force Base. Just that whole appreciation for Veterans Day, as we were talking about earlier. Just salute to those guys. And just, I couldn't be more thankful for family, friends, grandparents, blazing the trail on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I grabbed his card, went to quickly went to a meeting, started getting interested. I couldn't sit for the license until I was 18. So I did that and got trained up, and finally they had me so scared I was going to fail the first test that I actually studied for something for once in my life. so that's how it started.
That's how you got in.
That's how I got in.
I mean, the reality is there's a ton of companies out there that can offer insurance. I mean, you can't go through the day without hearing radio ads and seeing it on, if you're scrolling through, Facebook or something like that. I mean, it's all over the place.
Right.
But all those aren't necessarily you. I mean, and like we've talked about before, we don't just do business with companies. We do business with people, and I think, I'll let you expound more on this part, but I will say that, anytime you have a service like yours out there, insurance, having the personal touch of being able to call you, and I know I'm going to get you when I call your number.
Right.
I'm not just calling this 1-800, who's on the other end of the line, and trying to understand that jargon.
Right.
I like if there's something that needs to be done, man, I just call you.
That's right.
To me, that's a huge benefit.
That's right. Yeah, my direct line is always open up.
Yeah.
Anytime you could take a path from point A to point B is the quickest instead of looping around. That's always complicated.
Nobody likes dealing with insurance.
Right. They don't until they need it. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's what I always say. It's kind of where our values line up is just really helping people.
Yeah.
And that's when you've been in the business long enough, you see some very what could have been tragic moments that if you didn't maybe put the quote pressure on, that maybe they wouldn't be protected as a family.
Yeah.
I had somebody recently in the mid-40s, quadruple bypass, and I almost had to beg him for the insurance when he got it a couple of years ago.
Wow.
And now he's got a kid and family and all that fun stuff. So that was just very, that just motivates me even more.
Yeah.
So that was great.
So I've written some insurance in my lifetime. I'll never forget one of the greatest stories that I've been able to tell was I had when it comes to life insurance side of things. That's one thing that people that you can't touch it. You can't put your hands on it. So therefore, that's the thing with insurance.
Right.
It's not something tangible that you can just get your hands on. So, like Mike said, you don't want it until you need it. And I was training a new agent, and we were sitting with a client, and it was with him and his wife, and we were going over life insurance. And he's got his arms crossed, and he's like, "You know what? I don't need any life insurance." And I said, "Well, sir, let me ask you something. Would you like for your wife to choose who she moves into this home if something happens to you? Or would you rather her go out and run out and grab any old hairy leg to come in this house to raise your kids?" Because that's what the life insurance is going to provide for you. And at that morning, he let his arms down. He said, "You know what? You're right. Well, I'll take that insurance."
Yeah. Sign here.
So sometimes it's being able to, ask those tough questions, and with the people, and paint it in a picture for them on the insurance side of things, that they're like, okay,
Right.
I understand.
Right.
So yeah, and the one thing though that I do want to ask you on the insurance side though, Mike, is we're in that open enrollment period. I think we got Medicare going on. There's the health insurance side of things. Do people have to go to the marketplace online because that Obamacare, whatever stuff they set up, that online marketplace, do they have to go there to get their insurance, health insurance, or do they go directly to you?
Directly to me, yourlocalbrokers.com.
Yourlocalbrokers.com.
There it is.
There we go.
Yeah, you can get the quote there. What people don't know right now, and it's kind of a gray area, is request a quote right there, and we'll get back with you immediately, and get you and your family covered, or you and your company covered, as you see there on the two links. One of the major things that we've seen in the market is confusion. Just because it's top of mind, it's politicized, instant gratification is at play, where, like you mentioned earlier, it's not that tangible. So we don't have, it's not in an Amazon overnight box.
Yeah.
So you're planning for worst case scenario, and one of those things that you wish you never have to go forward with, but majority of us, about half or more, will have some kind of event with a loved one or ourselves directly. You know, we get on these highways, 75, 635, if you've been on these highways. You're risking your life when you get on there. And so it's one of those things. Most of the time, these accidents will prove out that you'll survive, you know, with hospitalization where it's at. What can you do to cover and save your income if you become disabled? You know, so we're just thinking about the complicated workings of maximizing your income, not trying to take too much out of you and your family's pocket, but hey, if something happens, what can we do?
Yeah.
You know, those things we have to plan for now.
So what you're saying is that everyone's not going to live on Earth forever? Is that what you're saying?
It's 100% chance that we're all going to meet our maker.
I mean, I'm just guessing here. So talking, I know. So talking about life. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, as far as insurance goes, you know, life insurance. Yeah, it's like it can be a morbid joke, you know, but
Has to be,
from a life standpoint of Mike's life. Like I was saying, people like to do business with people.
Right,
you know,
right.
that matters. So what are things that you're like? What does a day look like for you? What does a week look like? What is what are what are you interested in?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
what is Mike?
Yeah, what I love racquetball. It was one of the sports my dad and I got on a military base there at Tinker, and that was one of the things he got involved with playing racquetball. It was pretty neat, and there's always a joke around the old guy sitting there in the middle of the court and the young guy running around, you know, and that wisdom that comes with age, you know, you're just, instead of going 100 and wheels off, you know, that you slow down, you think about, you anticipate just the whole sport.
Tactical.
Like chess is very,
Yeah.
another thing I like to
That's cool.
take place in. Yeah. We have a men's group that meets once a week called Jesus and Cigars.
Oh yeah.
And we recently, I think, renamed it Holy Smokers or something like that.
Holy smokers! I actually like the Holy Smokers. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was thrown around the group. And so we, it's interesting, you know, each week we don't know who exactly is going to show up, but there's 8 to 10 of us, and we'll have a new person or whatever. Sometimes there'll be that guy that just has a lot to talk about more than the others, and it was with a purpose, you know. And so meeting with people with a purpose, helping, like where I find a lot of joy and pleasure, and just looking at what can we do for one another, how can we encourage one another each week.
Yeah.
The accountability, you know, stuff I probably used to run from,
Yeah.
you know, in a big way. What I saw in my dad's discipline, I was always trying to run the different direction at a point. And, you know, now where I'm at in life, it's just nothing but respect for that type of lifestyle.
It sounds to me like you're a real people-oriented person, and I guess that's what really makes this such a good fit for you, because it would take a genuine care to do what you're doing because of the route that you're doing and the way that you're handling this type of business. Because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that could go into insurance. I'm going in it because I'm going to build this insurance business, make the dollars, boom, 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 you know. But when it comes down to a personal level, like what you're doing here, it's business. You're doing things for a profit. You know, everyone does. Everyone has a job.
Right.
But this is something that's more personal to you. It's that people connection.
Exactly. And what can we see as far as a vision when I lay out? You know, there was something I heard recently is if you're not in debt, above making $70,000 to $80,000, what is going to make you any different or a better person? You know, after that, you've paid all your bills. Above and beyond that, what are you doing with your time? And you know, for me, it's always trying to realign with God's plan. You know, the second, the 10th chance that I've had to kind of just keep that relationship with Him going, because man, we fell quite a bit, you know, like
Daily.
daily.
Yeah.
And daily. And so,
Yeah.
you know, these self-help books, it's an interesting concept when you look at, you know, they're trying to say, look inside of yourself. Well, I think that's a drastic mistake, because that key ingredient you're just missing if you don't go to God, to Jesus. You
Yeah.
know, that's just going to really change
Yeah.
the whole culture. And I think that's what y'all built in Green Attic too. And that's
Yeah.
really cool. You can really evident to see.
My wife says it all the time. She doesn't understand how anyone gets through life without Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna if you're on top of the mountain today, you could be at the bottom of the mountain tomorrow. You're going to experience some lows in your life, and if you're not connected with God's word and being able to lean on that, I mean, that can be catastrophic to your life. I mean, that's I feel like that's what leads a lot on the suicide stuff is because people are not connected to our Creator, our Lord and Savior, and I believe if you're doing that and you're spending that time, when those times come, because they're going to come, you've got that strong shoulder to lean on,
Right?
And help you through those times. So that is one great thing about this gentleman down here. I do know that he loves Jesus.
Appreciate that. If you look at it in a way, excuse me, it's the insurance of all insurances, really. And that's which is funny. I was just as you were talking, I said, I don't know if I should say this, but it really is. And if you look at the term to indemnify, it's to make whole. And that's really at the key part of it. Whatever we're chasing, you grab that thing. If you look at just we all love our pets, right? They're family. And so they're constantly running after something. But once they catch it, once they get it, what are they really going to do with it? And I think we're very similar in that nature that, once we attain that goal that we have success-wise, whatever that form that comes in, you get that thing and you're going to, there's some people who, Anthony Bourdain, he had the world by whatever he wanted to do. He was getting it handed to him.
Yeah.
For free, really. He didn't have to spend any money.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the mental health, the community, the connection, the accountability that you get with family and just doing business with family, you consider you guys family as well. And so that kind of thing, that really can charge you up and put your life in a different path, I think.
Yep. Well,
I was going to say, the big difference, with the insurance of all insurances is that we didn't have to pay for it.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Jesus paid that price in full.
That's right.
all out in the front. And
That's
so
right.
it is freely given, but you do have to receive it. And so I think that's a big difference there. But I never thought of it that way, the insurance of all insurances.
It was just as we were talking. And if we look at like what's going on in culture now, this thing, Kanye West, with the Sunday services and just the mix of culture that's colliding now.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's nothing but need to celebrate. That's something. To
I would
celebrate.
agree. I would agree.
That's a beautiful thing. When we start doubting and stuff like that, that's just our own reflection looking back at us. Like, how many times have we messed up? Yeah. So we're expecting him to mess up, but his influence is so big that let's not focus on that.
Yeah.
It's the wrong thing to focus on.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I did miss, at the beginning, I wanted to kind of talk about, we have a special thing for our veterans.
Yeah.
In our office. So yesterday was Veterans Day, by the way. Thank you to all our servicemen and women for the sacrifices that you are giving every day and putting forth every day for your families, for our freedom. Without you, we wouldn't have this business. We wouldn't be able to enjoy our freedom in this country. So special thanks to you. I'm truly grateful for all our servicemen and women, and I know several of them. My little brother served in the Army. I did 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we've got a few guys around the office. Jeff Angel and Corbin both served in the military. So, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you, every one of you. So what we're going to do for the whole month of November is we have a special thing for our veterans. Retired or active veterans, we're doing a free CPR for you in your home. Normally we charge, those range from $5.99 down to $3.99 depending on the homes. We're doing them all for free. If you are a veteran currently serving or retired, please contact our office at 214-305-5449. and set up your free CPR. It takes about 3 hours. We're going to come in and test your home for air leakage and just, provide you with a nice detailed report as to what you can do to keep your home efficient through the wintertime.
Yeah.
So that's just our way of being able to give back to you guys since you sacrifice so much for us. So
Yeah. Along with that, it's apart from the veterans, but we're doing I don't know if you can call it a coat drive, but I guess we can call it a coat offer because it's cold. I mean, it got straight up cold, and we had the opportunity to, as a company, go out and be a blessing to, I don't know, what was it, like 40 or 50 homeless people
we
the
made
other day.
40. We had 48 care bags that
Yeah.
we kind of took down to the homeless.
And I didn't get to be on site with that. I was really pretty bummed about that, but everybody else on the crew was, and it was a real changing moment for a lot of people on our team to get to be that help to people out there like that. But even more so, the people that got to receive the I think there was like a peanut butter sandwich.
We did a sandwich, a water bottle, some emergency, a blanket, some gloves, socks.
Right. And it was, I think it was pretty cool that day. And some of the people, when they, rushed over to get what was being handed out, man, put the gloves right on is what I was told. But what we want to do is if we're coming out, or if we're coming out to take a look at your home, or even if we've already checked out the home, we've got a $250 discount that we want to put on as long as you're putting a coat into the pot there. We want to give these coats out to people because, like I say, it's cold right now, and there's people out there, homeless people, that they just straight up, they don't have anything.
Now look, people, we all have those coats
Yeah.
in our closet
Yeah.
that we don't ever wear anymore.
Yeah.
They're just sitting in the corner. It's like, what I do with this coat. Get those out of your closet.
Yeah.
Give them to one of our consultants when they come out there.
Right.
Or call the office if you've already gotten a bid.
Yeah.
And we'll take $250 off. Load up. Now, it's $250 off a ticket, not
Right.
if you give 4 or 5 coats,
It's
you get
not-
$250 off of each. We're not like going down to Nordstrom doing shopping here. We're trying to give back to the community. So that's just another way for us to say, hey, you know what? We're going to pay $250 for those coats.
Yeah.
And you be the one to be the generous one as to if you're going to give 1, 5, 10, whatever it is you got in your closet that you were into throwing in a box or
Yeah.
throwing away or whatever. So
Stacking up savings though, right? Because what you're about to do is evaluate their home for savings.
yes.
Yeah.
Taking money. Oh, man, this is great.
Yeah. But
I
one
got a
after
coat.
another.
I already know one.
Yeah.
Can we have the coat you got on there, Mike?
Not this one. No. This is a Dallas Cowboys blue. So,
I'm surprised you got that on today.
hey, listen, through thick and thin,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I might as well tell you all about a couple of other things that we've got going. We're going to be doing a toy drive here. We've linked up with a friend of ours, Jennifer. She owns an electrical company, and her husband is a Shriner. And basically, what she's gotten set up here is a way for us to be able to get some toys in some of these kids' hands that are a part of the burn unit, is what it is. So, I mean, there's lots of opportunities out there to give toys, but we've got a link on our Facebook. You can see it right there in front of you. It's an Amazon link that you can go on. Real simple. Go on there. There's preset toys that are easy to clean, because they're going to be in hospital environment. So we don't want to have, this, stuffed animal or anything in there. So it's stuff that have already been chosen that are going to be a good fit for these kids and a good fit for having up there at the hospital, but making a big difference in these kids' lives because, man, they're burn victims. They're in a bad place, man. And you'd be surprised at what just a simple gift would make a difference in these kids' lives.
And Amazon.
Yeah.
Super easy to make the
Yeah.
If you don't know how, reach out to the office. My wife will teach you how to do that because we have the jingle that basically says, "Here comes Amazon, here comes Amazon,
man.
right down my driveway."
That's funny.
Yeah, very easy. You don't have to leave your home to get
Yeah.
these toys for these kids. I mean, it's very, very simple. We posted it out yesterday, and I've got some friends of mine in Florida that have already jumped on there and bought toys and had them shipped. So they're like, it's for the kids. We want to give back to those kids.
That's
all.
Just imagine the look on the kid's face come Christmas.
Yeah.
When they're able to get a toy that, they wouldn't be able to get. They're less fortunate to be able to.
In the middle of a horrible time,
Yes.
having to be in a hospital. Nobody wants to be in the hospital anyways, let alone a burn victim there. So it's a really great opportunity to make a big impact for a kid. We've also got a $25,000 attic makeover that we're going to be doing, and we are still taking names. So please submit names. We're looking for somebody who really has that need. Maybe they can't make the ends meet. They've been doing all they can, working their butts off and freezing it off too at the same time in the house. I mean, we want to come in this perfect timing. It's just it's a giving time of year, isn't it? It's motivating. I know we got Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas coming up and all that, but it just feels so good to get to go and give. And this is going to be an awesome opportunity. All of my whole crew, everybody in the office, we're all going to be a part of this. So when it comes time for that person, that we're wanting y'all to submit names for, get it out there. We want to be a helping and a blessing to a family for a $25,000 makeover in the attic.
I'll give a little bit of detail on that. But before, can you bring the camera back over just a minute?
What's
Right
that?
here in the middle.
What's that?
I want everybody to live wild and free today. Right?
Wild and
That's
free.
a good thing. Everybody wild and free today.
Feels like Friday. Yeah, I know.
No, so a little bit of details on our attic makeover. What we're looking to do is we've already gotten some nominees in the office for that, and what we want you to do is nominate someone who is in need. And what we're looking for is the people who cannot. They're busting their tail. They're working their double jobs, double shifts, whatever, to try to make ends meet, and they just can't afford to get their attic work done.
Yeah.
And they need the insulation, and they're freezing. And what we want to do is be able to come in and provide them a service and give back to them. But what we want is you to nominate somebody by email. You can send it to info@greenaddicts.com.
Yep.
Send in the person that you want to nominate. What we're doing is we're taking those through the end of this year, and then we're going to sit down and select the person or 3 people off of the list to go out and do an interview with and do a CPR. And then we're going to place those up for voting online. And the winner of that will receive that attic makeover from our office. And like Russ said, it will be me, Russ, my office staff, all of us will be right up in that attic, getting the work done. So,
Yeah. And we're not talking about just going and blowing in some insulation. We're talking about this is full on. Depending on what the need is in the home, it could be maybe we suck out all the insulation. Maybe it's a full on new HVAC unit. I mean, like I say, it's $25,000 value here, so it's going to be really, really fun. I can hardly wait. That's going to be a blast.
hey, before we jump off, I got to give a shout out. How about Bebe and them Go Tigers, baby? Yeah, putting a whooping on Alabama. That's what's up.
That's funny.
That was a good win. Wow.
Well, me being the big football fan that I am,
Yeah, he comes in, he's like, did the Tigers win? Did the Cowboys win? He had no idea.
great.
But great job, baby. Coach O.
Well, y'all,
whole Tigers
go
organization.
Tigers.
Go
Mike the
Tigers.
Tiger.
Go Tigers. I did this little impression on him. So, if we could control the offense and control the defense on the line, we'd be able to open up the sidelines and we'd be able to expose them. Let's go Tigers.
That's like translated in English. That sounds like some of my family.
Yeah.
I live in the swamps.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You got family
That's
there,
right.
huh?
That's right. That's another.
Well, y'all, we've got David and Corbin. Our spray foam is going to be coming in next week. Y'all, we're really excited about that. I want to bring get them in here and give y'all a nice perspective on what it means to spray foam a house. And please check us out online. We've got you can find us on Google, Yelp, anywhere. Facebook. Yeah,
Website.
It is all over. Come to www.greenaddicts.com. On the Facebook, you can you can even find us at on-airmedia.com. We're all over, y'all. Come check us out, and we'd be happy to bring in another special guest coming soon. But as always, Green Addicts has officially been energized since 2007. Thank y'all.